93% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years, even after winning millions. Not because they're stupid, not because they're unlucky, because money isn't math, it's behavior. And here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. Your relationship with money was wired into your brain before you ever earned your first dollar. So, do you actually control your financial decisions, or do they control you? Why this matters? Here's what's wild. We spend years learning history, biology, algebra, but nobody teaches us why we spend impulsively, why we panic sell investments, or why a $5 coffee feels fine but a $1,500 investment feels terrifying. The result? Most people earn decent money their whole lives, and still end up with nothing. Today we're going to fix that. Because once you understand how your brain thinks about money, everything changes: your spending, your saving, your entire financial future. We're going to cover 5 key ideas. How your past shapes your money habits, why your brain constantly lies to you about risk, the trap of keeping up with others, the power of boring consistency, and how to rewire your financial mindset starting today. 5 steps. Simple language. Real examples. Let's go. Step 1. Your money story was written in childhood. Think about the house you grew up in. Was money talked about openly, or was it a source of stress and silence? Here's the thing. Your brain absorbed all of that. A kid who watched their parents fight about bills every month grows up with anxiety hardwired to spending. A kid who never saw financial struggle might grow up reckless with cash. Neither is your fault, but both are your responsibility now. Real example. Morgan Housel, the author of The Psychology of Money, points out that someone who grew up during the Great Depression will forever see the stock market as dangerous, even decades later when the data shows otherwise. Their experience became their truth. Most common mistake. Assuming your money habits are logical. They're not, they're emotional. They come from memory, not math. How to avoid it? Take 5 minutes this week and write down your earliest memory involving money. Was it good? Scary? Shameful? Just naming that memory starts to loosen its grip on you. Step 2. Your brain is lying to you about risk. Your brain has a system called loss aversion. In plain terms, it means losing $100 feels roughly twice as painful as gaining $100 feels good. So your brain is constantly trying to protect you from loss, even when that protection is costing you everything. Real example. Imagine 2 people. One checks their investment portfolio every single day. The other checks it once a year. The daily checker will panic far more often, not because their investments are worse, but because they see every small dip. And panic leads to bad decisions: selling low, buying high, locking in losses. Most common mistake. Confusing volatility with danger. Volatility just means prices go up and down, that's normal. Real danger is selling during a dip and never recovering. How to avoid it? Set a rule: don't check your investments more than once a month. What you don't see, you can't panic about. Step 3. The keeping up trap is making you poor. There's a psychological trick your brain plays called social comparison. You don't measure your wealth against a fixed number. You measure it against the people around you. So when your neighbor buys a new car, something in your brain whispers, "You're falling behind." And that whisper is expensive. Real example. Studies show that people who win $1,000 feel great, until they find out their coworker won $2,000. Suddenly the $1,000 feels like a loss. Nothing changed, but perception changed everything. Most common mistake. Spending money to signal success instead of build it. The person driving the $80,000 car might have $200 in savings. The guy driving the 10-year-old Honda might be quietly building real wealth. How to avoid it? Ask yourself one question before any big purchase. Am I buying this because I want it, or because I want someone else to see it? Honest answer changes everything. Step 4. Boring is the strategy. Everyone wants the secret hack. The hot stock. The crypto tip. The "I turned $500 into $50,000 story." But here's the unsexy truth. The most powerful financial strategy ever invented is just consistency over time. Compounding, which simply means your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns, is basically a snowball rolling downhill. It looks boring for years. Then suddenly it's enormous. Real example. Warren Buffett, one of the richest people alive, made 97% of his total wealth after his 65th birthday. Not because he found some secret. Because he started early and didn't stop. Most common mistake. Quitting when progress feels invisible. Most people stop investing after 6 months because nothing is happening. But that's exactly when the snowball is forming. How to avoid it? Automate your savings. Set up a transfer the day you get paid. Make consistency automatic, so it doesn't rely on motivation, because motivation disappears. Step 5. Rewire starting today. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need a big salary. You need one small habit that proves to your brain, I am someone who handles money well. Identity drives behavior. If you see yourself as bad with money, you'll act like it. If you shift that story, even slightly, the actions follow. Real example. Instead of saying, I need to save more, which is vague and guilt-driven, say, I'm the kind of person who pays themselves first. Then do it. Even $20. The amount doesn't matter yet. The identity does. Most common mistake. Waiting until you earn more to start being good with money. That day never comes. The habit has to come first. How to avoid it? Pick one thing from this video. Just one. And do it this week. Outro. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. You were never bad with money. You were just running on old software, habits and fears built years ago, in a completely different life. But software can be updated. You now know why you think the way you do about money. And that awareness alone puts you ahead of 90% of people who will never ask the question. Start small. Stay consistent. And remember, wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how well you think. If this hit different, drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you want part 2 on how to actually build new money habits from scratch, subscribe, because that video is coming next week. See you there. Clenched fist.